Jaz го имам задоволството да ја најавам следната презентација. Miha Unk од Prima системи ќе зборува за значењето на сајбер сигурноста во контролниот пристап. Наша приказна е насловот на неговата презентација и за Миха 15 минути отстапен простор. Вас ве подсетуваме дека на официјалната веб страница на Adria Security Summit можете да го најдете линкот и да гласате за оние проекти, за оние презентации кои според вашиот вкус и вашите критериуми се најуспешни.
Hvala. Dobar dan. Hello.
No.
My name is Miha Unk. I come from Prima Systems. We do access control. We are from Slovenia. And I would like to remind you of the importance of cybersecurity. Thanks. And because we are access control producer in cybersecurity in our part of these products. We are, like I said, producer of access control. We are selling it around the world. We are selling to the airports, banks, different customers. Also sell it to maybe just small Airbnb apartments. Sometimes security is really not important, just maybe it's easier to deal with access control instead of providing keys. So since we take this serious, we also our products are security grade 4 certificated, which is all nice. It gives you some idea what is protected, but unfortunately this does not cover much about security, cybersecurity threats. Unfortunately, we are all busy, and we are pushing this cybersecurity part, something that, okay, it won't happen to us, we'll use firewalls and so on. But the reality is, I think, more dangerous that we are normally aware of it. So just to have you a bit known motivation, the reasons why somebody would hack your device. Is it Internet of Things device? Is it IP camera? Is it DVR? Is it access control? Is it, name it, might be different. So the Bitcoins and the hackers, for example, like to use, or they hacked DVR recorders just to mine Bitcoins. There is, for example, another line where 15,000 internet connected devices could be hacked and mine $1,000 worth of money in 4 days. So what's the point here? There might be different ideas why they could use your device. So either Bitcoins, either they can hack your device and use it then for DOS attack. So they can use your device to pinpoint to some server, and this server will go down. And for example, we are producing thousands of controllers each year. So if our controllers are connected to the network, then it's every year quite nice volume to use this device to produce some kind of attack. You probably think, okay, our devices will not be found and so on. It's not so easy, I agree, but it's not so nice. There, for example, maybe you are aware of a software or web page named Shodan, where you can type in some name of the devices. Here is an example from Webcam XP server, where this Shodan will find you all the servers installed around the world, use default passwords and so on, and you can actually log into the servers and check images or whatever. Then I wouldn't like to be too bored, so I would like to explain you our story. So we are a producer. We are also getting these problems on our desk. And some of you are producers, some of you are system integrators, installers, and maybe just to have an idea what you should be aware of or keep in your mind that maybe next time it might hit you, or what to ask your providers of your equipment if they are compliant and so on. So one nice customer of ours from US has sent us an email that they have security audit, And on our controllers, which are Linux-based, we also use some services that comes with Linux, and we need them. So the services that we don't need, we don't use. And one of those services on one of our older controllers has actually a service that was able to hack. So there was some overrun in the buffer possibilities. So eventually somebody might use this vulnerability and get access to our Linux-based controller. What was nice, I like that customer who had this a review of their equipment that they use in the company. So this will keep coming to us. Maybe we didn't get any such review from Europe now, but it will come. So in this case, we were able to actually upgrade the kernel of our Linux controller with the newest version of these services and solve the problem. And then another email or call we got from a researcher who actually is from Macedonia. His name is Joko Krstic, and he works in Netherlands for a company, Applied Risk. He has made an article, investigation about building management software that are on the market, and found over 100 flaws on these softwares. So we were in contact with him. We were actually happy. How he has found us? Okay, first on our page he found our products, but nothing much useful. Then he found our OEM partners for example, in Scandinavia. They had our firmware updates on their server, so he can download this firmware update, and he disassembled this firmware update and got an idea what is wrong, where he could come in, and found quite nice mistakes. Some of them were old, but still in our software. Some of them are really obvious. For example, we got a bad mark because we don't force the end user to change the password, I don't know, 3 times. So he can log in 3 times with the default password, but then he's forced to change it. We didn't have this. We had a warning inside the software. You're using default password, please change it. But this is not good enough. So be aware, if you are producers, change your softwares that you force people to change default password. Because what happens, nobody changed default password, then you use this hold and search engine and you can log into your device remotely. So it was nice. We got something, some kick that we checked what was not good enough. And we checked it. We ended up with one nice guideline to our developers, how we should do it, and so on. At the end, we were also contacted by an American agency, which is called CISA. It's a security agency that holds the database of all the flaws, security flaws, and helps their different companies to be protected. So there was a report on their website, which are vulnerabilities we have, and how you can fix them. Not to be too long and too boring, I want to pinpoint that cybersecurity is extremely comprehensive problem. I think we all are not actually aware what all can go wrong or where all the attacks are possible. So here, for example, encryption needs to be from the graphical user interface to server, controller, in our case, RFID reader, ID card, or phone. The phone is also very exposed because there can be a lot of malware running on this phone, and maybe they can access some of your encryption keys. So here in my case, we use HTTPS with certificates. So you need to know to whom you're talking, that CA certificates will provide you, and the connection needs to be encrypted. Then the communication between server or between controller needs to be encrypted. The communication between controller and reader. Then here we have offline readers, which means that some data are on the card, and this also needs to be encrypted. We have wireless online reader. Communication needs to be encrypted. We have RF transmitters. Of course, if you don't want to copy them, they need to be encrypted. And the last one is, for example, mobile phone, which is extremely dangerous. So in all these cases, the encryption keys should be not the same, because if somebody has the encryption key from your remote or on your mobile, it can use it somewhere else. Then where these encryption keys are stored, somebody might get this encryption key and do whatever. So in case of mobile phones, it's quite familiar that we store any sensible data to a special hardware element, which is called secure element. And this is physically a chip that cannot be tampered. And this is also should be done in the same way for all the equipment that we use. And I think this is not the case what is typically on the market. Then you need to be aware that, for example, if you use operating systems now, new devices often use operating systems which are big softwares, which has vulnerabilities. They need to be updates. Also, the services that you're using needs to be updates. It needs to be all of your embedded devices, and sometimes they are offline. Sometimes this is really difficult to update. Then all the software update of your own software needs to be signed, so that you know that this is your update. And in best case, it's even nice if it's encrypted, so that somebody cannot analyze your code and has an idea where he could come in. Then in some cases, for example, Linux has a possibility to use a single-user login. So that means if you have device on your desk, you can use single-user login and log into a file system and get some important data out of it. A lot of devices, like RFID readers or any Internet of Things of device, they have debug console. So if somebody can have a device on the table, he can use debug console and get some sensible information out of it. So this makes really it complicated. So nice thing would be also to encrypt data storage, so that if somebody gets to this data, that it's encrypted. What the user gets, or maybe attacker gets, if he downloads the database backup. So is there passwords? Are there passwords in? Of course, not plain passwords. They might be hashed and so on. There might be some encryption keys inside, so needs to be careful. One nice thing is that I think also it's not the case at many producers, that the encryption keys should be per installation. That means if there is one installation in all those devices, the encryption keys should be different than on the other installation. I guess it's obvious. And maybe one nice guideline, which is still you often heard from producers, our encryption is super good, top secret, but in reality, encryption can be found out, but the passwords needs to be the proper passwords, the length should be right, and they should be stored in the secure place. So I think I would like to pinpoint that this is really a big problem. So if you see from the design perspective, I could say that you have one product that takes, I don't know, 1 unit of development time. But if you want to have this unit to be really good, secure, I think you can use 3 or 5 times more times to do that. So one thing that covers this is the new standard 62443. It has more than 800 pages. It's still in development, and it covers everything from hardware that use the CPU has the right technologies, secure elements, from operating systems, from software and firmware, how they should be signed, patches. And it also includes that your development team needs to be educated, because after all, just one mistake in the development, it might take you a very long time to find out what's wrong. It also covers security advisors, so that somebody can advise you what you should use, risk assessment, and security levels. So I suggest the industry to take a look at this standard. We are working on it. I think it's the right way, but it's a standard, it's difficult, it's a lot, it's comprehensive. So maybe you need to hire external companies to help you with that. And I think at the end, I think very good practice is security audit by independent expert. Your company, your developers will say, we are the best, it's secure. Also at the installation site, if you are end users, your providers will claim it's secure, it's the best. Sure, it is. But I think this audit by a third party that will test your devices, it's a very good practice. And we should be aware of it, and we should put it into a tenders, into a costs, so that at the end, we don't mine bitcoins for our hackers from abroad, maybe. So thank you for this time. I hope you got some good ideas. And